WIIFTV PM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m. where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
It's official West Suburbs and Chicagoland area. The Naperville Soul Fest is back, featuring a live performance by Avery Sunshine and Carl Thomas on Friday, June 3rd, and Kindred the Family Soul, Selena Johnson, and Riis. On stage Saturday, June 4th at Naper Settlement, located at 523 South Weber Street in downtown Naperville. If you missed the last Naperville Soul Fest, you don't want to miss this one. Get your discounted tickets on Eventbrite or visit NapervilleSoulFest.com for more event details. For vendor opportunities with access to over 7,000 attendees, text 630-202-6431. That's 630-202-6431. Spend your first weekend in June at the Naperville Soul Fest with Avery Sunshine Friday, June 3rd, and Kindred the Family Soul on Saturday, June 4th. Check out NapervilleSoulFest.com for more information.
Oh, baby. I mean, I know that you're here with me and everything, but since you just left a few hours ago, I've just been going crazy. And I done come to realize one thing. Oh, baby, I miss you. Just keeps on calling me. just need a hit of your love. It's got me shaking and feeling for your touch. Baby, of you I can't get enough. It feels like I done OD'd on you, babe. I'm addicted for you. Can't stop loving 'cause I can't get enough of you, babe. 'Cause I'm so addicted to you. This must be love. 'Cause I can't get enough of your loving. I'm so addicted for you. Can't stop loving. I need you right now, baby. 'Cause I'm so addicted to you. You're always on my mind, my mind, my mind, every day. It's been too long since I had you in my arms, and I don't know if I can take any more of being without you. Even though it's only been an hour, it feels to me just like forever. And I am hoping that I can see you soon. See you soon. I'm so addicted. Lord have mercy. I can't be without you, baby. Oh no, not for a minute, not for an hour. I can't get enough. I'm so addicted. I need to check myself into some kind of rehab. 'Cause I need some help. Somebody help me, please. Please. Ooh. La 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 la. I need to testify this evening. Oh Lord, have you ever loved somebody so much that you just can't get them off your mind? Oh, I'm so addicted. Oh Lord, 'cause I can't stop loving you, my baby. Oh darling, I love you, This must be love. I've been overdosed on your loving. Can't stop loving you. I done overdosed on my baby. So addicted to you. Without you, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Ooh, I'm addicted.
WIFTDPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots and that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System the milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System the milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System the milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System the milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, y'all? It's a Monday. I'm in the building. You don't know how I am today yet. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to start the week. I'm feeling the kind of way. So I'm a little moody.
What's a little?
Why you say that?
You always moody.
What?
More like temperamental.
What?
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Temperamental.
Not moody. You're not moody. You're temperamental.
Explain that.
So
like that.
Depends on what day it is, the time of day, something might go wrong. So when stuff don't go right, it throw off your feng shui.
That's when you got the key to the door and I can't get in.
That's a great example.
That's not temperamental.
No, let me look it up.
Look up temperamental. I have expectations. No. I think the issue is accountability.
No.
I think the issue is always accountability for me. It's like, because everybody expect me to do.
Got it. You ready?
Go ahead. Uh-huh.
Temperamental of a person, liable to unreasonable changes of mood.
Unreasonable? Unreasonable.
See?
See, I think unreasonable is relative.
Your world, squirrel.
Unreasonable. You know what? Nah, it's okay. One day I'm gonna be. I don't think I'm unreasonable. I think that is really the. I think that
you're not unreasonable.
I think I have
unreasonable changes of mood.
Is it unreasonable or is it quickly? Because I feel like I don't have I think usually when my mood changes, it's because of irrational.
We ain't saying it ain't warranted.
So that's unreasonable.
Warranted and unreasonable are two different things.
Okay,
though.
Google warranted and Google unreasonable. Okay. Warranted is reasonably. You should. Warranted means you should.
All right, unreasonable, not guided by or based on good sense.
Okay. Beyond
the limits of acceptability or fairness.
Got it. Okay, I don't think I'm that at all.
Of course you don't.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to say, yes, I'm unreasonable.
Right. I just think if it say that's what it is, it's what it is. It's like it's not up to your interpretation based on your situation. It's like I'm pretty constant. It's like, I'm not?
Yeah. We didn't say inconsistent.
I still feel unreasonable is unwarranted.
No, it's unreasonable, but it might be based on your reasonability.
Damn. I don't even know how to see. It's okay.
Listen, this is the thing.
Go ahead.
If you good, people around you good. If you ain't good, the people around you shouldn't be good. Because
Right.
you just have certain expectations.
Bingo. Okay. That's not unreasonable.
Temperamental, though.
No, I don't know about temperamental, but I'll take it.
Nobody wants to be called temperamental.
Okay. Well, I'll take it. It's like, it's okay, though. It's all right, though. It's because it's Monday. So I ain't even tripping. See, you already took me there, Ruthie. I was already over here. And then you done dragged me over here. So now I'm not going to let you do it to me on Millennial Monday. Because, see, if a Monday happened with millennials, then you, not today. Good morning, Ruthie Moore. How are you today? It is the Maze Jackson Show. We are here on Monday, May 2nd. It is the second day of May. April showers bring May flowers. Hopefully, we will start to see the pop-ups. And I hope it's been cold enough that it killed all the mosquitoes. But talk to me, Ruthie Moore. How you doing today?
Good. You think mosquitoes spread COVID?
I think everything spread COVID at this point.
I've been
Your
wondering that.
dog spread COVID. Your air spreads
I'm saying
COVID.
we have the bird flu going around. I wonder if
Well, I just was reading this thing that said that if you have that as the temperature, if we lower 3 more degrees, we will see thousands of virus jumpers from animals to people. And then they went back to like HIV.
what?
Are we still saying that HIV came from the monkeys and came to the people? Is that still a thing? Because I remember it used to be a thing and we debunked it. But now since COVID happened, I'm saying, man, they said it. I'm telling you, I was listening to the radio the other day on a reputable station, I'm not going to say their name, but yeah, they was like, man, 3 degrees and we going to have, look, you probably Googling it. Google it though. Because it probably is, so 3 degrees is going to be more, so mosquitoes, it's like, we just going to have to get used to COVID, I think. I think COVID going to just be, get used to it. Yep, it's just what it is. They said 57% of Americans have had it. So a majority of Americans have already had it. So I think we're going to just have to, but I must tell you, that whole China thing.
Yeah, they still on lockdown.
I'm not going to say nothing. I ain't going to even talk about it. Because it is, speaking of that, it is Asian American Pacific Islanders Month.
Oh.
Shout out to the AAPI community. Even though, well, I'm not going to say it, but you know. Shout out, well, you know what? In alliance with black folks, the new Asian American alderman sided with the black people on the map.
I saw that.
That was pretty.
But she said that's because it keeps more of her stuff intact. So it's all this like
self-interest.
Like self-interest?
Right. The only people who be like, and she ain't say nothing about no white people. She ain't say nothing about no brown people. She ain't say, she said us.
We giving the mayor some credit for the appointment?
For what? Let you tell her she didn't pick. Oh, but you talking about for the open and transparent policy process? Okay, go ahead. Shout out to the mayor. There you go. Woohoo. Meanwhile, we ain't got a school board. We missing a member of the school board or the board of education. How you gonna leave the spot open? What, the kids can't get no vote? Now, after all that fighting she did about saying she needed to control the school boards, Ruthie, she done left the open spot for 9 months. Talking about she can't find nobody. Ruthie, you could have been on the school board. You just won. The people you won overwhelmingly. The people decided they needed you to be. See, I'll give her the credit. Good. How you do it?
The condescending clap.
Remember that's how she did everybody on her first day. Remember, turn around. She was directing the orchestra. But she feeling kind of swagalicious. She said she said she is definitely running for re-election and everybody keep dropping out, Ruthie, so you can't win with nobody to run against.
Bring in the light 2.0.
Golly. Should I just join the team now? Should we just go ahead and capitulate? See, I feel like I'm about to be I feel like it's time we need to be in the warlords now. It's like I think all bets are off. Everybody is all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it was just like I think without Madigan, the Democratic Party is in shambles. And I think we got to mount up our army. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we do that, let's say what's up to our man, DJ Riis the Ruler. DJ Riis the Ruler, what's up, man? Happy weekend. You back on a Monday. What's going on, my brother? How you feeling today?
Best about the best. You already know the rest was good, y'all.
Man, just working out here trying to do my thug thistle and not blow the whistle.
Yeah, Ruthie, you coming in, man, irritating the boss, man. It's Monday. It's May 2nd. I mean, he had to pay everybody yesterday. You feel me?
Reese, please don't bring that up.
I'm just trying to tell you got to just,
when it fall on the weekend, we kind of be good. But here
no,
you go.
that's why he come in here Monday. You feel me? It got to fall like on a Saturday, then he can probably breathe on Saturday.
No, it need to come
I was
on
gonna
like
call off.
He's going to call.
On your right, you call off after I pay you too.
I was gonna call off, but you can't call. If you get paid on a Sunday, you better not call off on a Monday.
Now, see, the real thing is,
What's the lick?
the lick is if you would have reminded me on Friday, that payday was on Sunday, I would have just paid y'all on Friday.
Oh, that's how that
so
works.
that y'all would have, right, I mean, it wouldn't have changed. The number wouldn't have changed because you don't work on Saturday and Sunday anyway, so I would have just paid it for you. So if in the spot
Who
of
don't
Chief,
work on Saturday and Sunday?
well, you know what I mean. You don't have to be at the, hold on, Ruthie.
I'm just
You
saying
got
7
Ruthie,
days.
you got
I'm
Ruthie,
7
you got
days,
you
man.
you got 7 days, about an hour a day.
7 days,
You be like,
man.
let me tell you, Ruthie, you be on point for that hour. I'd be like, Ruthie, let's talk.
7 days.
You be like, I got you, Maze. I got you for 15 minutes of call. You be like, I got you. But I tell you what though, I ain't gonna even front. I'm not gonna front. I am a much better person. I really am. I feel like I am a much better person for you serving as my chief of staff because I do feel like some things you just don't want to pay for, but
Some of your people still don't respect me.
you got to earn that respect. That's the millennials always walking in the door, want everybody just to salute. It's people who been knowing me for 50 years, and I be like, look, dog, you want me to be there on time? Do you want me to be there on time? Look, because people be like, dog.
You know, I feel the brunt of that though.
That's okay.
Wow,
That's part of yo. That's part of the cause to be. It's gonna be a man. You gonna be the gatekeeper. Look, gatekeeper. Look, you just earning your gatekeeper stripes. Because one day it's gonna be a gate.
Be going through all this.
I think you gotta get hazed.
Why I gotta go through you? They're my cousin.
That's because I be like, cuz we've been trying to schedule this meeting for the last 2 months, right? We've been scheduling for the last 2 months, and then you wake up and now look, we sitting right here. It's okay, Ruthie.
It's May.
You gotta get your respect, but put some respect on her name.
That's you gotta earn it, huh?
Earn it.
That's how that works.
That's how it works. I'm telling you though.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be a day though when people be like, man, just call Ruthie. If you make it, because people get mad. People get mad. Like you almost through the honeymoon phase. Now you're gonna be like this.
That's been over. What you talking about? That's been over. Listen, the hard part is over. The hard part is over. Ain't nowhere to go but up from here.
I can honor that.
Nowhere to go but up.
All right, there you go. See, I like that positive spirit in you, Ruthie.
Thank you.
I'm glad you said that. See, that confirms some things I was thinking this weekend. We got to have another talk this week.
Uh-oh.
All right, y'all. No, don't uh-oh.
Okay.
I feel like it's a good uh-oh. We was,
what? Not like the uh-oh.
Not uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Antonella was like, do you think that? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. And she was like, that could be. And I was thinking like, you know how sometimes you be writing stuff and you be like, you can be the person standing right next to you and you be like, huh. Because you be so used to them in their gym shoes and tracksuits. You be like, you be like, man, did they put on the dress and go talk to the peoples? It's an interesting conversation. So we're going to talk about it some more. You know what I'm saying? I believe in promotion from within. So before I go outside, I want to look inside, make sure we got everybody working to their maximum potential before we go outside. So let's talk about that a little bit more as well. Look, it seems like we are locked and loaded. We ain't got no guests today besides us. So let's get this soul plane up to 60,000 feet. We are up and away. And what's funny? Up and away. That's all, folks.
Every time I see Tamon, I think about that.
Uh-oh.
I think about it every time.
I feel like it too. I feel a certain kind of way, man. I feel like I don't know that he did it maliciously.
I think it was what they call a knee-jerk reaction.
But I feel like it's the knee-jerk diss. Like, I feel like I'm ready to get from the point of, like, I get a little bothered by the trouble. Like, I feel like it's one thing for the white folks, right? I don't mind when our white folks and I be, I want to feel like Clint Eastwood when I walk in the white people room. Ka-chung, ka-chung, ka-chung. They be like, oh, get out the way, because but when I come to my own joint, I don't want to hear, uh-oh. I'd rather be like, what's up, fam?
You don't want to hear, hey, troublemaker? Stuff
Right.
like that.
That blows the hell out of me. Because it's like I be in trouble for your ass. Like, it does really irritate me. Because it's like, people be like, man, you sure be. I be like, for real? So you can't just say hello? And that bothers me a little bit. But I'm getting to the point where I have, and Ruthie, like when you was talking about the whole, what do you call it? Temperamental. So I think my temperamentalness comes from expectations, which I am going to begin to limit. Right? It's like, if I ain't put it right here, if I ain't do it just like this, I'm not going to have. And I think that the more I limit expectations, then I think you will see me less temperamental.
They got this quote, but I don't necessarily agree with it, but I've taken a derivative of it. It's aim low so you never be disappointed. I don't necessarily aim low so I don't be disappointed, but when it comes to human behavior, I've just kind of learned that if you are not explicit, is it A or B? Are you going to do A or B for me? If you say you're going to do A and you don't do A, then we got a problem, because I can't let you do A plus 0.2 and get away with that, because then the next time so I think expectations are real. And sometimes, you can be an optimist or you can be a pessimist.
I think I'm starting to be a realist. Like I'm gonna go back. So I used to have this thing called 20-70-10. I got it from Jack Welch. I think I talked to you about it. Where 20% of the people are leadership, 70% of the people are trying to get to leadership, and 10% you just whack 10% every year, right? I think I gotta categorize. I think that once I start to put people in the box, then I will adjust my expectations as such, if that makes sense. And then I won't put myself in a situation where I get temperamental, as you call it. I call it accountability. You call it temperamentalness. I think, what would Maze do in this situation, and what would you do in this situation? And if you were me, would you know you would be able to say, yes, I know this is going to go this way? I feel like I just want the reciprocity.
You ain't petty mad.
I'm what?
You don't like when stuff don't be the way that it's supposed to be, because you have high expectations for your universe. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that it can come off as temperamental, but I'm putting a but in there. But I do believe that it ain't based in petty. It ain't based in, I'm just mad. No, it's likely based on a level of expectation that you have for something or someone or something surrounding your own universe. And I think that you should be able to control your universe like that, especially if you building it up in such a way. So your expectations are, I'm not going to say they're unreasonable.
I still think people get the cheesecake. They don't get the cheesecake.
You could just get it Uber Eats.
It's the Maze Jackson show. Millennials.
You ain't gotta walk in the rain. Just order it. Don't they even deliver nowadays?
Think smarter than harder, right? That's okay. I ain't even tripping though, because I just think it's the Maze Jackson show on a Monday.
Your world,
boss. I've decided about those names and don't. Let me stop. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
It's official West Suburbs and Chicagoland area. The Naperville Soul Fest is back, featuring a live performance by Avery Sunshine and Carl Thomas on Friday, June 3rd, and Kindred the Family Soul, Selena Johnson, and Riis. On stage Saturday, June 4th at Naperville Settlement, located at 523 South Weber Street in downtown Naperville. If you missed the last Naperville Soul Fest, you don't want to miss this one. Get your discounted tickets on Eventbrite or visit NapervilleSoulFest.com for more event details. For vendor opportunities with access to over 7,000 attendees, text 630-202-6431. That's 630-202-6431. Spend your first weekend in June at the Naperville Soul Fest with Avery Sunshine Friday, June 3rd, and Kindred the Family Soul on Saturday, June 4th. Check out NapervilleSoulFest.com for more information.
Broken screen, crash system. Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop, located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:34 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather update. As we head over to the Kennedy, O'Hare to the Loop will be 24 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 18. On the Edens, inbound from Deerfield to the Exchange will be 28 minutes. Back to Deerfield will be 27. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop will be 31 minutes. Back out to Thorndale will be 27. On the Stevenson, from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 32 minutes. Outbound will be 30. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan will be 35 minutes, 28 minutes to I-80. While the Dan Ryan is 19 minutes to the Loop, 13 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Lakeshore Drive South, 55th to Jackson and back will be 7 minutes, and 7 minutes from Randolph to Bryn Mawr and Bryn Mawr to Randolph. Today's weather, it is currently 50 and cloudy. Today will be a high of 55 with a low of 46. Expect rain after 10 p.m. tonight. I'm Riis the Ruler. Happy Monday here on The Maze Jackson Show.
Back to glory. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, to the grave, from the grave. Dear Lord, it's me again. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another. Please, son, look and have mercy. Have mercy over our
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler, on a Monday. It is Monday, May 2nd. Yesterday, they had May Day. Remember when they used to say
Mayday?
Mayday, Mayday.
We used to celebrate that.
They
used to
did.
have like parades and
Really?
out in Pembroke. Yeah, I guess it was like a,
Well, apparently it was something in Union Park yesterday with socialists, labor. I figured you was going to be at the communist rally yesterday, Ruthie.
Well, why would I? I'm not a communist, Maze.
You sure?
Positive.
Socialist, communist,
Not even
socialist.
a socialist. I do want that universal basic income they're giving out for the city, though.
I'm telling you.
I was going to apply, Maze, but all I could hear
$500.
was you saying, don't apply for
Ruthie, you're going to have to walk around in one of them white suits.
They going to make you get all the same
It's
color clothes.
Y'all going to be wearing white suits with the platforms.
You're going to
and it's
have
gonna
to
be
eat
like
the same food as everyone else.
Yep, you're going to have to eat and then the only way you can eat you got to get a little water pill where they put some water on the pill and they turn into food and they're going to be like nasty mush. And meanwhile,
That
I'm going to
sounds
be eating
sustainable.
steak. I'm going to be eating steak and lobster because I'm going to be in the capitalist club. You're going to be in the socialist club. You're going to be like, give me my universal basic income. Then be like,
They're going to be happy.
you're going to have to eat rye bread.
Going to be out there painting.
Painting our buildings.
No, painting for leisure.
Yep, you're going to be.
Stargazing.
They're going to be like, paint some stars.
We'll be discovering planets, looking through telescopes and looking at clouds and doing poetry.
Mm-hmm. You heard the black poet and the black. Did you do that because it's a black poet dude now that runs the poetry magazine?
What you talking about?
It's a black man now that runs the Universal Poetry magazine around.
You got a subscription?
Do
Can I
look
get your
like
login?
First of all, do you think I read poetry?
Yes.
Unless it's the Book of Nas. Even that should be the Book of Hov for me. Okay, first of all, did y'all know that Ozark came out this weekend? The new Ozarks?
Nope.
You watch Ozark? Ruthie,
Nope.
have you?
I can't.
Let me get your login. You need to get that. You're like, I'm gonna tell you. And I wish I was you right now.
When it come on?
Netflix.
Oh, okay, I got that.
I wish that I was you right now, and I wish I could start Ozark all over from the beginning and binge watch it and never have seen it and
Okay, I'll
not
have to
know
check it
Marty.
out.
And, oh my God!
Because you know what? Let me say this. You do not give bad recommendations.
No,
I ain't never got a bad recommendation from Maze Jackson about anything.
Ooh.
You give really good recommendations.
I gotta tune it up on the people part. I'm good on the TV shows.
No, listen, I ain't had no problems.
All right, I'm gonna tell you. Y'all gotta check out. So if you are a big Netflix person, Ozark. Oh, well, you know what? I'm all off my script. Check this out. I'm hearing the church music in the background, which means I gotta welcome the Saints. Ooh. Shout out to the Saints from WBGX 1570 AM. We want to thank y'all for tuning in every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8 a.m. That's right. It is the Saints. You can catch us 1570 a.m. You can give us a call, 872-259-7474. Or don't forget, you can also check us out on the TuneIn app. Now,
you know, Mondays is the day to ask your church people for stuff because they still be filled with the Spirit from Sunday.
Nah, you got to get them on Friday because the preacher got them on Sunday. You have to get them on Friday because the preacher got them on Sunday. Preacher, look, I'm going to tell you. You know how you... So I was talking to Big Swill one day this week on Saturday. And I was like, Dag, Big Swill, you been cracking at the TP. He was like, it's the first, man. I said, what you mean? He's like, it's the first. What you mean? He's like, look, man, people be outside. I was like, well, damn. Oh, that's the 1st and 15th. Back in the day, I remember Well, you don't remember about the 1st and 15th. Back in the day, I used to know about the 1st and 15th, but I didn't realize it was a retail thing too. So anyway,
you know that was such a thing that they started to like divvy up people's benefits so that would not happen.
The 1st and 15th.
Yeah, like they started giving people like the 3rd. You know, some people get their stuff on the 3rd.
That's what y'all was going. Oh, okay.
Just to like because it was
so
like
you couldn't burn it out on the weekend.
Well, it was impacting like grocery stores and in really small towns where a lot of people get like public assistance. It would just wipe out grocery stores.
Hey man, because you could tell. I'm gonna tell you what though. You could tell at the grocery store on the day when they get the refill, because it'd be like, boy, them cars be. I'd be like, dang, how you get all of that?
Got a deep freezer?
I need a deep freezer.
Me too.
Man, I need another deep freezer. All right, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Ruthie Moore, DJ Riis the Ruler. I did not get any of these headlines. Oh, did I welcome the Sinners? Shout out to the Sinners, man. Y'all check us out on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can get us every day, 6 to 9. I don't know, man. I feel like I woke up weird today.
Maybe because it's May 1st.
It's not.
It's like something spring is in the air. Season of change.
I don't know. I feel. I probably shouldn't have wore this black today. Maybe. I don't know. It's not the black though, because I wear black all the time. I don't know. I just woke up feeling away.
But you know what? I always feel like, and it's about. I don't want to get too deep too early in the show, but sometimes it's good to feel, because when you stop feeling, I feel like that's when you just at a place where, like, I think apathy is like worse than actually feeling a type of way. Because when you get to a place where you don't feel, I feel like that's when you kind of get down kind of bad. So I don't think there's anything wrong with feeling a type of way, because then at least it can spark you into action. But apathy, it'll just have you sitting like stagnant. And I think that's worse than actually taking action based on feeling the type of way.
Well, I feel a kind of way today.
Good.
I'm telling you.
Good.
All right, so check out though. Did you see the Englewood Whole Foods close this week? It's closing this weekend. Hey y'all, so
it hurts.
It's though. I said, so I wrote in my notes, Englewood Whole Foods closes. Then I said, so what? Right, because when Target closed, we was like, and guess what? So ain't nobody do nothing. I feel like all of these places, these giant stores that open up in our neighborhoods are actually gimmicks. And I think if you look at them, they all end after the first lease. They use it as a big press conference, as a ribbon cutting for their urban investment initiative for whatever mayor or whoever pushes it into the neighborhood so they can say they've done something. Then they give them a bunch of money to subsidize their lease to pay for them to be there. And then as soon as that lease, or as soon as we take the subsidy away, they go away. And Whole Foods is no different, and I want to talk about that a little bit later. But, I mean, I think it's curious the timing of Whole Foods pulling out at the same time that we saw the Muslim Action Network doubling down, especially on their fresh fruit and all that stuff. And I hope, I'm not going to say I hope, this is going to be interesting to watch how this plays. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and without any malice. But this whole, think about who is getting funding to provide fresh food and services in our neighborhoods right now, and is rebranding their image. And I just think about this Whole Foods that is a ready-made, it's already done, it's got the fixtures. I think of us doing a McDowell's instead of McDonald's, but I'm watching, and I bet you that is going to be the We Are Your Friends program, and they're going to take it, stock it, and then as we switch our diets out of the stuff, they'll be at the pole position to be, which goes to my other point, which is I think we're living in, I think I'm about to move out of old Chicago. In my mind. Because I think we right now live in old Chicago. not the one that was in Bolingbrook, which was the indoor amusement park, but the Chicago that we used to, that it's like we still think of the world as it was, not as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I am going to, we're going to talk about it, but I want to move out of old Chicago. We'll talk about that in the 7 o'clock hour and into the new Chicago, because I'm going to tell you that it is a new Chicago. There is a whole world that is happening around us, and I feel like I almost feel like I'm becoming like the Harold Washington people, and as respectfully as possible, in trying to, in having the argument of how it used to be, as to compared to how it is, and as it's happening, looking backwards as the future is happening around me, and do we plan forward or back? So I want to talk about it because it is deep. It's like,
that's deep, and I think that you are in a unique position, because somebody like me, like, I don't necessarily know all the ins and outs of the old Chicago way, so all I know is the new way. And so I'm at an advantage in that regard, but you got an advantage because you do know what it was. So I feel like you're in a good position to reimagine the way that it could actually work, because you've seen the underbelly of it. Like, you've seen it work. You've seen how it's supposed to work. You've seen it not work. You've seen it manipulated. And I think that you have a catbird seat.
So sometimes I wonder, am I handicapped by my old learnings?
Yes and no.
And so I'm trying to figure out my way out of that. Right? Like we about to have the same fights that people were having 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Like, literally, the same people are having the same arguments for 20 years. I don't want to be on the hamster wheel. I was talking to Tyrone Muhammad yesterday, and I was like, man, I want everybody in the top. I feel like it's the same 30 people that are the fighters. Let's just use that. I don't know that. I bet you that if those 30 fighters knew what they wanted their outcome to be, they probably could get that outcome. And then I said, Ty, I want you to get $20 million. Tamiko, I want you to have $20 million. Then y'all get y'all money and y'all go out and spread the seeds. Well, I want 100. Well, start with 20. And I want us all to have the money to be able to not operate from subsistence, and then be able to affect the change and start to move the things that we want to do. And I bet you that if we could figure out what that Fighting 30 wanted, we could get on to participating in new Chicago instead of the old Chicago. Because I do think that there is a workaround. Like, I think there's a whole cottage industry built around working around the 30. And please don't take that as me minimizing the 30.
No. I think that's you just giving a very good, like a high level understanding of it. So I think it's helpful.
So imagine if all of those people in that space that have been fighting for 20 years had the tools in the toolbox to not be subsistent, but to be funding and to be growing and to have the tools to be able to build and participate in what's going on. I just feel like I want to get out of old Chicago. I feel like old Chicago is not there. Like, I want to talk about what is our obligation to the South and West Sides. What is our what do we owe Chicago? And what does Chicago owe us, and what has it paid us? Like, what is it that we are loyal to in Chicago? What is it that you're loyal to in your neighborhood? Like, what essentially has been, what are we fighting specifically for? To hold on to the concept of is, right? Like, it may be to hold on to neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
What neighborhoods? Why? And am I bound by, like, I feel like there's old Chicago that is limited by the invisible barrier of the South and West sides, and the things that have captured the years of racial segregation, apartheid, etc., that have permeated our minds and have permeated the way that we operate, the way that we interact, a level of acceptable dysfunction. And then you have people that come here, Black, that are here to take advantage of all of the wonderful things that Chicago has to offer, right? And I wonder, are we allowing, as we're having these fights with, like, sometimes I feel like we shadow boxing, and instead of determining what Black Chicago is for the people that are arriving, we're leaving it to them to redefine it. And so Well,
what's more like a hijack? But it can be a risk, but it's guys that's like a redefining, but it's more like a hijacking.
So it's weird because I don't know that Black Chicago is being hijacked. And when I say, I'm not talking about the buildings and the stuff like that. I'm talking about like the influence culture, kind of, sort of. I think that culture, Black culture, is being put on the South Side and the West Side as tourist attractions, sort of. And go ahead.
So, the great Harold Lucas is missing from this equation because cultural heritage tourism is a thing. And we didn't let white people take over our cultural heritage tourism within the city of Chicago. And as we lose more and more parts of the south side, the west side, particularly over by the lake, we gonna feel a type of way when they keep doing these trolley tours in our neighborhoods. It's big money in cultural heritage tourism. People come from all over the globe to visit places. It's a thing that people do. And I feel like ours has been hijacked.
Think about Tobacco Road. Think about what Dorothy Tillman's vision was to create the Chicago Blues District, right? That she knew that white people, the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, everybody came down on Michigan Avenue to learn. Now you drive down Motor Road and they got the museum. It's like, here once were the Black people, right? And I do feel you on the Harold Lucas thing when he used to take the bus tours and be like, and he was the crazy old curmudgeon, right? Who tried to trade me our history for it. I ain't gonna go there. But at the same time, it's like we never have the capital to capitalize on our own stuff. So, like, again, I could tell you everything that needs to happen. Like, tell me why we ain't got no cracking Black bar, like where upperly mobile Black folks go to on the South Side. Like, why is everything a hole in the wall? Like, why is it, right? Like, where... I just feel like there is a new Chicago for Black people that ain't from Chicago. It's the West Loop. Like, when you go to the West Loop, it be all type of Black people down there. They just don't be Black people from the South Side. They don't be Black people from the West Side. Right? There are... So I'm a little bit like, because as this shift is happening, it's happening politically too. Right? So, like, you just saw Mike Madigan Ed Burke, Daley, all of the whole way that I think of politics is eroded. Right now, there is a fight between a black woman and a Jewish man for power control of the Democratic Party of Illinois.
Who was them two?
J.B. Pritzker and Robin Kelly. Right? And where do we fit in that? Like, because even as Robin Kelly makes her entry point, she's the progressive. JB, where? So, like, honestly, I gotta stop fighting the ghosts of the green team now. Like, the green team ain't the issue now. Like, the green team they're gonna be an economic power, but that ain't, as we now have the fight ain't with Madigan no more. Right? Like, the wizard is gone. So who are we fighting, and what's our entry point into this new era of blackness? Because let me give you an example. When I was coming up as a young Democrat, you had to join the Cook County Young Democrats. There was no Chicago chapter of the Young Democrats. So when I saw that they had an election for Chicago chapter of Young Democrats, I was like, that completely excludes all of the ward organization type people and created a whole new infrastructure that ignored the powers that existed before.
Can you break that down just a little?
Okay.
You said.
So in Cook County, the Young Democrats it was the Cook County Young Democrats was the power center of Cook County.
It was not Chicago.
It wasn't Chicago. It wasn't a Chicago chapter.
Okay.
So one day we look up and we see there's a Chicago chapter of the Young Democrats.
About what year did that happen?
Last year.
Oh. 2021.
And I'm talking to one of the person who introduced me to Young Democrats, and I'm like, hey man, they just straight up took away all the power from the Cook County Young Democrats, which was the center of which we sent all of our kids to. And they just christened a new Chicago Young Democrats that supersedes the county. So my point then was, okay, so now, and then you look at it and you see all of these people that you've never seen come from any political organization. They ain't all from Chicago or grew up here, but they want to be involved politically. And so guess what? Now the party has created an on-ramp for them that completely usurps the way that our people locally knew how to get in.
So when you say the party, did the Illinois Democrats create the Chicago Democrats, or did the Cook County Democrats create the Chicago
The Illinois Democrats. So let's back up. It used to be the counties were the power.
Okay.
So like every county had a power. It was a power source. Cook County being the most powerful. And then if every ward had its own chapter, and every township had its own chapter, but the power base was the Cook County Young Democrats.
Okay.
Robin Kelly, that was under the old regime. Under Robin Kelly came in and said, I'm going to charter so all of your people are in this. All the people that are connected that I can't control or whatever are in the Cook County Young Democrats. I'm going to take my congressional power and as the chair of the Democratic Party of Illinois, and I'm going to create a Chicago chapter that does, you can be part of this chapter and never have to go through any of the committeemen or any of the people. So now they set up a whole new power source without and excluded every way that we knew how to get in.
Whoa.
So now, if you're a Cook County Young Democrat, that's one thing, but the chairman is acknowledging the Chicago chapter. She ain't acknowledging the Cook County Young Democrats.
Is the Cook County Young Democrats
it's old school.
Like Tony Preckwinkle type of
It's
people?
supposed to be. It's supposed to be Tony Preckwinkle. It's supposed to be Alderman Burnett. It's supposed to be. That's where I came from. That's where Kerry came from. Right? We all were part of Young Democrat chapters that the competition. When you hear me say,
I hear y'all say the Young Democrats. You talking about Cook County Young Democrats?
Because the competition was amongst the local chapter. So 27. When you hear me say 27 versus 8, because we were the powerhouses within Cook County, but everybody came together under the guys. Now they like, Y'all ain't got to go through none of that.
Let me ask another clarifying question. Why would a Robin Kelly need to, why would she feel the need or like the pressure or see the ability to start a Chicago Young Democrat
Because
chapter?
why do you, if you're new Chicago, why do you want to join the old Chicago way? If you a new progressive young person that wants to get involved in politics, don't go over there with them old dudes. Because the old dudes, if you remember, they was all with Michelle Harris. Because it was a battle between Michelle Harris and Robin Kelly. Michelle Harris representing the old school who JB supported. Robin Kelly representing the progressives who Dick Durbin supported. Now, this whole fight came about really because Mike Madigan was removed from the top. And when Mike Madigan was in control, everybody did what he said. Well, now everybody's out fighting. But if you knew that everybody, all the young Democrats were part of Cook County that was under the Michelle Harris thing, what you're going to do is I'm going to create my own group for young people. I'm going to create my own pathway that does not make you be reliant on those old school machine politicians.
That's deep.
So she created her own space. And so right now, remember, and the young Democrats in most of the Cook County started getting disbanded because a lot of elected officials were concerned that their competition would come from the young Democrats. So as they started to cut their youth off, she starts a whole new organization that says you don't have to be scared. Use your social, use your digital. We want to welcome you in. While our old school guys was like, man, I'm not having them young people because they're going to try and take my... And we cut off our youth, and now Robin Kelly aligned with the progressives, get to arm our young progressive black people. And what happens when you become armed as a progressive young Democrat as compared to your self-interest usually come over here. When you become progressive, you start talking about every other issue, and it ain't just about us. So now I got to ask you, what's our entry point into this political game now going forward? Do we come in and then we join the progressive, right? Because all the progressives, right? All the progressives are like the white women that was doing the lined up with the black dude, right? Like the progressive white women. That's where you sending your where do you go in? What's your entry point? Because you got to bow down to one or the other, unless you black people first. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We're gonna talk about it some more. It is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages. Why you smiling over there? Why you kind of?
I'm just looking at this. It's deep. It's deep.
You see how they did it though? Like
it's deep.
They straight up.
But no, I mean, it's deep.
It was gangster though. They straight up undercut. Debate. They cut the bottom out the bag of the Cook County Young Democrats. Oh Lord, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m. where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't want to work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't want to work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Up in the morning with the frown on my face, 'cause I know it's another day that I gotta face now. For people I don't want to see, working at a job that I don't want to be, breaking my back to the bone with nothing to show. But I got dreams and goals, but as soon as I clock in, I'm ready to go. So there's one thing I gotta know: why money ain't free? Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? Give it to me. I don't wanna work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me.
grew on trees. I got these bills after bills and they just keep coming. Working overtime, but my pockets ain't flooding. Yeah, my funds low. Adult life is gas. Why money ain't free? Why it ain't free? Why can't they just give it to me? I don't wanna work, but nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Yeah. Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work, but nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? How the money ain't free? Every 5 minutes, kids bothering me. They seem to think that money grows on trees. Always asking for allowance and clean one thing. I'm sick and tired of my funds being low. Spent the whole bag on the groceries at the store. Got a little something, but I need a little more. And I'm a single mama, you should already know. Why money ain't free? Why the money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work, but nobody. I'd rather keep doing me, doing me. Why can't you just give it? Won't you give it to me? I don't wanna work, but nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Why the money ain't free? Why money ain't free? Why money ain't free? Yeah, why money ain't free?
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
What's in it for the black people? 'Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to life, can't dose no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now of the politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed to solve them.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore, in the building. And I was lamenting on the state of affairs. I don't know what the entry point. I don't be liking when you be having them funny smiles on your face.
I was just reading about the Young Democrats and they got any events coming up.
It's funny because I remember a few years ago being at the West Side Music Festival and watching the erosion of this process. And I was like, I remember being at Carrie, like, I didn't use these words, but it was clearly the complete degradation of our youth. Like it had been gutted.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you, I do believe that the Young Democrats was one of the best things that I ever did politically. It helped me understand the inner workings. And Ruthie, I was just thinking, like, what is the entry point as the world is being reshaped, as politics are being reshaped? What is the entry point for Black people into our own political self-determination? Right? Like, and am I fighting for a Chicago that just doesn't exist anymore? Like, I was talking to, shout out to CNN. I was doing a pre-interview for a special. And I was saying that the Chicago that I knew and loved in the way that I learned this game may not exist the way that I knew it and learned it, and I have to retrain. And that gets me to my whole point of like the whole Chicago. Am I living in old Chicago? Am I fighting for old Chicago? Am I fighting backwards instead of for the future? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. I was reading an article in the Sun-Times today about Robin Kelly taking over the Democratic Party, and I was thinking about just this whole premise. Like, can I ask who are the black leaders in the party now? Right? Like, go to the Democratic Party of Illinois website and see who are the black people in leadership. Not the members, but like, because again, are we now going to have to be progressives? Right? Think about I just want you to put this in perspective. If we're progressives, the progressives, like, so as we cheer, I got to help you understand how we be damned if we do, damned if we don't. So, and I'm going to put this in perspective personally. Think about, in spite of, the progressives are the same people that will use and support black women to put them at the tip of the spear, but then tell you to support Fritz Kagan. Like, so even as you represent the Southland and the South suburbs and places where we are being run out of our homes, the progressives will tell you, hiding behind a dead black man, that you should work against your own best interest because we should trust that guy. Then you got the party with Toni Preckwinkle, who's supposed to be now the new, and she says, support that guy. Even as you're getting run out, even as headlines and articles every day tell you how he's devastatingly impacting our community. Like, where is our entry point where they say, yo, we got to talk to, like, where the people that are in the place, in the power positions, in politics, have to do what their constituencies want. So we got two black women leaders who have to capitulate to their progressive issues or their progressive constituents to the ignorance of black people. And again, we don't get to ask what's behind your cloak. Like, what? So hold on. So you mean to tell me that the two black women couldn't find nobody black to support? No, the two black women couldn't support the black woman or the black man, Secretary of State or assessor, because of their progressive credentials? While at the same time hiding behind a dead black man, throwing rocks.
So the word progressive is like equity.
Right. It's a weapon. It is a tool to be used again. So again, you got to pick your poison, but both of the poisons wind up with you dead. Because who in either one of these camps is talking about black people first? And as Madigan is gone, so now we ain't got that excuse. Burke is gone, we ain't got that excuse. So what is the excuse now for us not to represent? Like, help me understand it, Ruthie. Like, so you're going to so do our black children have to come into the political game through the progressive gauntlet? Which means that you have to strip yourself of your blackness for the betterment of, you got to throw every other objective into the joint. You got to be women, you got to be environmental, you can't be. And show me a time when any of them have put black people first, unless it's for social justice, which makes them feel better. Show me the social justice in their offices. Show me the social justice in how you make your selections. Has it changed? Do we have different spokespeople? You still see any black? You see any black spokespeople for the Democratic Party of Illinois? What I tell you about every time we get to a spot?
Mm-hmm. They changed the game, changed the rules up.
So, are we fighting for history or future? Like, are we fighting, like, because right now we're in the process of working backwards. We're fighting backwards. We're fighting a fight that's already over. Like that, like if we ain't going back to 1.6 million black people in Chicago. And as are we still fighting the construction fight? I'm not tripping. How's that fight been going? Buildings still go up. We haven't slowed down. They built a whole. So my thing is, how do we win every time? Look at our competition. They win every time. Like, let me ask you a question. Have we seen any building stopped? Any major Wolf Point, nothing's been stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So now I guess I think sometimes we become so used to the fight that that's just what we know. But what is the outcome of the fight? What do you want? When Wolf Point Tower goes up and we get jobs, there's no permanent long term. What do we want? Like when we shut down a construction site, so if they gave you 100 jobs. I'm not tripping on anybody shutting down sites.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to diss anybody in that space. What I am suggesting, though, is it's like we're digging a hole that keeps getting deeper. Soon they will pour a foundation into that hole.
Mm.
And quiet as it's kept, everybody ain't having the same, everybody ain't mad. Everybody is just not mad. I just need for us to be clear about that. And so the Fighting 30 will die fighting in the hole as they pour the foundation, and everybody else will be like, man, can I go to the restaurant at the top of that joint? They won't think about your fight. And so the question becomes, what are you fighting for that you can build your own? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. What's up, caller? You on the Mace Jackson Show?
Hello.
Hello?
Good morning. How you doing, man?
Good morning. Who there?
Good morning. This is Tavares giving you a call again. Of course, I listen to you every morning.
What's up, brother?
I think you asked a great question, and that's one of the reasons I listen to your show is because I learn from you, and of course the guests that you have. I'm under the impression they say when you're going through something or something is a problem, you have to kind of acknowledge how you got there if you want to kind of change things. So we look at the state of Black Chicago. From my understanding, Chicago, Illinois in particular, has the most Black elected officials in any state in the United States. This state is, I don't want to say ran because we understand the underlings, but we have Black elected officials as leaders, policy makers, policy changers. Of course, we had the first person in policy. So my question to you is, how did we get here? That's what I would like to ask, Maze. I would like to know, we got all these people that's in position. And I actually, to kind of not change what you said, not change the topic, but I went on a tour with Dilla this weekend, who's a TikTok historian, and I actually rode through the Chicago Pullman Village. And it's kind of heartbreaking to see. Of course, there has been some changes, with Obama changing it and getting federal funding. But when you get to see the parts of it that has been, it's just still crumbling. But if we get to that place, and it's still very historical buildings, the old first fire station. Those buildings still stand, but it's crumbling. It could be, redone. I don't think there's any interest in, kind of changing, those historical contexts of things or improving it. And we have a black mayor, we have black aldermen, we have black lawmakers, we have black state reps, we have black. All these people are black. So my question to you is, Mace, how did we get here?
I would tell you we got here through a process of what I would just call erosion, right? Like, you ever seen a mountain that's by an ocean, and it's just, you be like, you wonder, how did it get carved like that? Like, how does the cliff come that way? Because the ocean batters it for years and years and years and years, and you don't see it until gradually you wake up and you be like, oh, damn. And so I think it's been a process of erosion, and we haven't recognized it. So I would say we got here through losing rule number one of politics, which is your self-interest. We forgot that. And I think then we bred a whole generation of elected officials who came up under that way, who didn't necessarily have to fight. I'm going to tell you, and part of the reason that we do BP1 is because as you look around, Ruthie, I feel like nobody's really sharpening their sword except us. Like, I mean, I think if you looked at what happened this last election cycle when Madigan and the challenges that it took for people to get on the ballot, like people who have been long-term elected officials who still haven't had a battle. But I think that we are building our muscles to be ready to be able to say, get down and lay down within 2 years. Right? Like, I don't know that we'll be ready by the mayoral election, but by the next congressional race and the next set of state rep races, we will have the organization necessary to, like, see, I feel like either somebody's going to get with us, they either going to have to get with us, or we're going to have to pick somebody. Right? But this next 2 years is the opportunity for everybody to get in line. And not get in line, but start to get in alignment. But I'm going to tell you like this. What I know now is in 2 years, I know we got enough people to get easily anybody we want on the ballot in any race. We got the soldiers. We got the horses that can do it. If we can put up 13,000, we definitely could put up 400. In the dead of winter, like the things that, like, you, I mean, I be laughing at people like, I'm like, cuz if you are celebrating the fact that you made it by the skin of your teeth, you don't understand that somebody else is in the gym working out, putting points on the board. And so I think that right now what's happening is we're building an army. But I think our army is not, see, I still think that what's happening for us is right now we're getting ready to make the pivot. Right? I think we started with BP1 recognizing that the world was going to change. I still think, like, I be watching people celebrating, kicking it, like, cuz you haven't won a fight. Like, you don't celebrate when you haven't really won a fight, and you don't know who's fighting for you. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes, and it's like, I think that for so long things have just happened magically for us politically.
Well, you know, we had the Madigan 360 record deals. I've been hearing you talk about this for a long time, like Chicken Little. Trying to tell people the sky's falling.
Well, actually, but guess what? We finna be the sky.
Straight up.
Like, that's what you got black people first for. You got 3 elected officials this go around who won their elections to be local school council members, which then becomes the platform for you to say, when somebody say, what have you done? Well, I've been actually a member of my local school council. I've organized X number of communities. We come into a ward near you. But I guess my question is, are we still living in old Chicago? And do we, I'm talking about us, because I think we consistently talk about what ain't, what's not, and then you go see all the people that's doing what is. And so I just got to ask.
Yes, I think that some black people are kind of stuck in an old Chicago format because, okay, so I feel like black people and elected officials and we've been pawns in a lot of like in the political infrastructure. So you know how you said like that the foundation is being poured? Mm-hmm. I feel like it's really our bodies are the foundation. Like we the ones that's supporting, you know, you say Black Death is a hustle. Stuff is built up off of black bodies. And the Chicago way was built up on a totem pole of mob-like proportions. And I believe that it's just now kind of being dismantled, but people still have to figure out, okay, what's my lane in all of this? And if you only know one way, then you probably stick with that way, especially if it's been able to provide or produce money for you. And I think with the pivot and the shift that's happening, follow the money. And I think that is going to sort of determine where people go. They're going to go with the money. And so I hear you when you say like, okay, like black people first, we build in the infrastructure, doing the actual work. And I agree with you that a lot of people don't even know the proportions of war that we're in because they've been shielded. So if you've been living behind that gate for all these years, like y'all know it's cracks in the gate, like people coming through. And like you said, they still kicking it, dancing, eating cake. But the people is coming through the gates. Like, so I'm with you, Maze.
So I often wonder, what is our vision of ourselves here in the city in the future, in the state? Do we have any allegiance to Illinois? Like, what is our allegiance to Illinois? Like, I was just thinking, like, what are we fighting for? What are we fighting to protect? What are we fighting to preserve? I'm curious to know, like, what's our allegiance to the South and West Side? Go to the calls. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, caller?
Shalom, my brother.
What's up, Israel?
No, I just heard, that's my space on the construction side, so I know you ain't mean no harm, but I'm saying, man, these politics, I call them political, I'm going to come clean. It's some political prostitutes, man. I've been doing this a couple of decades, man, and these white boys come tell me who be blocking. From the aldermen, to all that, you need an alderman. To build a dog house in your backyard, you need a permit, and the alderman got to sign it. And you just had a conversation about one elected official. I ain't gonna call them out. But I know I've been in third ward for 10 years. I mean, Mark Allen, best speech. I didn't get one cleaning contract in the third ward, and I had to have a conversation with Robert Childs about that. So I'm saying these politicians be blocking us, man. I'm so glad brothers like Tyrone Muhammad and coming home. Brothers that's gonna stand up. There's a lot of people out here that sit down when they urinate. You know what I mean? But I'm still fighting. He fighting. Like it's 30, whatever you say, whatever your 30 means, 30 for 30. I don't care. Jesus changed the world with 12 people. I wouldn't care if it was 2 of us. But these damn elected officials are out of order. And now you're just saying they cat fighting now with them. I don't even understand what you're saying about the Jew. I know who the Jew is and the young lady out the South Suburb. But what they battling for, I don't understand what you're saying. But, it's all good. I see Mark Allen talk about that young Democrat, you and a bunch of, I don't know if you was in there with him. No, Burnett was in there with him. He's a little older than you. So, man, Democrats and Republicans, they all together, man. It's all BS, man. So all I can say is them elected officials is bogus because they be blocking, man. They know it. On the construction side. Even the white boy on 42, he be blocking. So I'm just saying, man, them developers come tell me who be blocking. Bob, I will do this for y'all and do this.
Excuse me, Israel. So the developer let me just tell you though. So the developer comes to tell you why he can't hire you with his own money. That's what he tells you. I'm just this me, right? Because it's like they know
you got him out. Dude won't sign the permit. Dude won't sign the permit if they don't hire his certain guys. They don't have to sign the damn permit. I'm trying to tell you the facts. That's why we go at them chunks. Go at their front door, man. Why you blocking, man? They be sneaking in the back room and won't sign the man permit unless he hire XYZ. And you know how it go. We ain't got to go there. I'm just saying, we got some small victims of construction. You know what I'm saying? But it's just some competition.
So here's me, right? And like I said, and we'll be meeting in 2 weeks, and you'll be meeting with my client. I feel like I think we start at combat. Like we be like, F dude, I'm just gonna start. I'm like, I don't care who, I'm not gonna respect nothing as it relates to where I'm at, but want to be respected where we at. Like, so my thing is, if you know dude, do you talk to dude and say, get the contract, or you be like, F dude, and give it to me anyway? Knowing that you don't have the power in that situation. And then I have to wonder, is the goal to grow the company, or is the goal to have a fight? I would say that there's nobody that would not take my brother's. I think that people would love to be able to see figure out how they could make some of these companies successful. Right? Like, if I could take Tyrone off the board, if I could take Israel off the board, if you could take Mark Carter off the board, if you could figure out exactly what it was and get them off the board, I think that people would be happy to do it just because they would be able to breathe. Right? But sometimes if you're not sure, it's like, I'm just telling you, I'm not doing 20. I'm not doing 20. Black people not going to frustrate me for the rest of my life, right? So I'm going to figure out a way to try and help as many people as I possibly can for the next 3 years, and then I'm tapping out. Because you can't win. And it's like, again, we start with going around each other instead of going to each other. I was sitting in a meeting the other day where the white boy was telling me, like, hey, man, we sit around and we be like, hey, here's an opportunity over here. Here's an opportunity over here. Here's an opportunity over here. But we be like, I'm not telling it. He going to get ahead of me. Instead of saying, man, you do what? I feel like we fighting for old Chicago. Like, they are still. If we got people that we know are actually, not mythologically, but actually blocking. Now, let's be real. I feel like I think the goal is not to be at the site. The goal is to remove them from office, right? And if you can't and you still want to grow, then you got to kind of say, okay, you don't have to. You got to decide whether you want to grow in business or you whether want to grow in the streets. Right? Because if you want to grow in the business, then you start to say, okay, what do I need to do to grow my business? What relationships and it ain't going to be bullying. It ain't going to be protesting. Business, I have never done business with somebody that protests me. I will pay you to go away. But I don't do business with, if you're trying to do business, then you're trying to build relationships, not break them. That's the reason that, I know people don't want to hear, but that's the reason that people take people to games. That's why you go out to dinner. That's why you do all of those different things. And I'm not talking about elected officials, to people you want to do business with. When I want to do business with somebody, guess what I do? I build a strategy to build a relationship with them because essentially they have what I want. And I recognize I can't take it from them. I can't. My job as a lobbyist, my job is to, the clients often recognize they got their own attitudes, their own issues, the way they feel. But the way they feel can stop them from doing business, which stops them from feeding their families. So they say, let me hire an intermediary, whether it's a lobbyist, whether it's a salesperson, whose job it is, because my job isn't relationship building. My strong suit isn't that.
Okay, so yes, you spot on, I think, with your analysis and your assessment. I think the thing that's missing, though, is that we don't have the cooperation, because we need all of those tools to be in the toolbox. The problem, I don't want to call them problems, but part of the challenge that we have is people don't be in their right lanes. And some of it's ego driven. Some of it's because people don't even recognize the way that they are being used. So I think if people would just stay in their lanes, we would have an easier time, but we don't have the infrastructure built up in that way. And I think when we recognize, like, you know what, if we actually stronger together, because you do this piece, I do this piece, like that comes after we done already fought for 80 years.
And then
it's hard to,
and then be like, and be saying why we ain't building, you punk ass mother, right?
So that's
why that punk won't build with me.
So that goes into some of the challenges that we have with egos and dysfunction within our communities, because we are oftentimes fighting each other instead of fighting together.
And I told you, that's why my success strategy in business is to go where black people are not. Because let me tell you, they're inevitably, I don't care what people could, inevitably, it is going to be the black person that tells the white people that Negro ain't stuff, ain't nothing. I could do it, not him. Right? Regardless of what the position is. Because we see people eating, and again, the laborers, the plumbers, the electricians, all of them be like, you want peace? You got to have peace with all of us.
Yeah, but that ain't how we built up. Look at how we built up our system. You got a group of people, you got few people that would lead everybody in the protest, all the while they really getting theirs off the top, the middle, and the bottom, but they appear to be fighting for all of us. So then when problems arise, it's a whole industry built off certain people being able to come in and say, you want me to keep the Negroes quiet? Break me off. Or what they do is they go to them people ahead of time to get them to pay off, so then they can keep their people quiet. And I'll give you we ain't gonna go into examples, but it reminded me of Al Sharpton. Like a minute ago, he was fighting against Comcast about something, and then he kind of stopped, and I looked up like, what happened? They had broke him off, like, and then I was just like, So if our whole, remember, everything, our system was built around, we got the black church and the way that they protest, and you got to have who the king of the blacks, like, and so we got that same mindset to this day. Like, white people still use us in that same way. But my thing is, if we could just pick our lanes, but we could still work cooperatively, we would be fine. But the problem is that sometimes the gatekeepers be really looking out for their own family and their own self-interest. So stuff don't trickle down the right way. And I know mink coats don't trickle down, blah, blah, blah. But it's the model that we have. That's why we never get results. We don't get results, but you got black faces in all these places. And that's the problem, is stuff be appearing to be black. You got people doing bidding for the black people, but they really ain't. It ain't coming down where it needs to be coming down to. So now we fighting each other. I'm looking at you crazy. You looking at me crazy. You over there. You over there praying, leading the congregation. I'm over here praying on the congregation. Like, we got so much dysfunction. So when we get to these moments where our backs be against the wall, it's just like it becomes chaos. And then we cannibalize each other in the midst of that chaos, all the while the white people just looking at us, getting their money. And then, like you said, some black people like, I ain't dealing with that. I'm getting mine off the top. I ain't with them. Right. If you don't want to deal with that, give me the money. I'll take care of all of that. I told you them was bad niggas. I told you.
Man, it's like, this gets back to my whole peace thing. right? Like, I'm not finna be fighting with black people. Like, yo, cuz, like, these people are playing for billions of dollars. You looking at my little 100,000. Like, they're playing for billions. And again, the whole premise to me with this thing is, nobody sees themselves in it. Like, the part of the reason I'm telling you I'm declaring peace is because I see the role I play in this. Right? Like, I see myself in the spot of being, when I can be fostering discontent. What I would love to see is everybody win. Like, I really would, because I feel like if you knew what it was like to cash a check, like, and I'm not, and as soon as somebody, I cash a check. But I'm saying, if I knew that I could go into a room and not have to worry about, and we always going to the forefront, you ain't got to worry about them being able to pay somebody to stick you in the back and be like, you remember that time he? Like, do y'all remember everybody had a time? Do y'all know everybody has had a time? And it be so much, like we was talking about when Tabaris was like, how do we get here? We got here collectively. Because whether you participated, whether you didn't see it happening, we got here collectively. We're not going to get out of this unless it's collectively. And I think people want to pick winners and losers up front. You people want to pick who going to win. And if you say everybody wins, then you ain't got to have all that beef. But see, like I think there's got to be absolution. Like, I think we got to have a come to Jesus and be like, yo, guys, we all was a part of something. And, like, I'm not denying my role in any of it, but it's at a certain point where we look up and we say, yo, do y'all watch Yellowstone? Anybody watch Yellowstone? So, Kevin Costner owns the Yellowstone Ranch, and the Indians is against him. But they was like, it's a big developer coming, and they want to kill both of us. So how about we can't even be at war? We can go back to war, but we got to at least make sure we deal with the people that's trying to kill us. Now, do y'all see that as we are fighting over this casino, it's steady marching forward? With no agreement amongst us, and it's steady to do, right? And you're going to look up, and it's going to be done. And we are going to be like, such and such block me. Instead of saying, hey, fam, it's moving. Like, and if you see the fix in, if we see a fix in, why are we going to try and bet on the other thing? Why don't you say, we want to win on every single one? Because I want to win and I want to see you starve.
Or, I don't even really want to win. I just want to see you starve. So I'm willing to cut myself out too. I take the $5 instead of the $5 million because you won't get none. Like, it's psychological.
That's that dog on the haystack. Look, take a break. Then we're going to come back. We're going to take your calls. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
I want to know, is there an offensive black people list? Who manages it, and do black people have to honor it?
Maze. You're Uncle Tom. That's why you're an offensive. And the reason why you're Uncle Tom is the real story of Uncle Tom. How he worked for his freedom, and then the slave master reneged on him and wouldn't let him get his freedom. So you know what he did? He left. Messing with the church's money. You were smart enough to work your way off, so you offended the white folks, and then you offended the black folks because your ass left. And because they wouldn't. And who manages the left is both black folks and white folks, because if you see in that situation, the black folks is just as mad as the white slave owner that Uncle Tom left.
What happens if you say that and someone gets offended?
You ran off the plantation, brother. That's why you're offensive. That's all I got, bro. Keep being offensive.
Thank you.
Maze Jackson.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your gentle hair and the way you like to dress. But won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you find the right man who fix it for you. And are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay this fine that you've been dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? Oh, yeah. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Oh, stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over there? Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over,
You are listening to the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, Ruthie Moore in the building. We are talking about, we fighting for old Chicago. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Carl, you on the Mace Jackson Show. What's up?
Yo, what's good, bro? What's cracking? What's up, Ruth? What's up, Ruth? What's up, Reese?
What's up?
Hey, man, we fighting for a new Chicago, man. We're fighting for a rebirth. We're fighting for a reimagining. We're fighting for a new paradigm. We're fighting for a new vision. Let that old stuff go, man. You can't put no new money in your hand if you ain't trying to keep your hand open. If you just gonna have a clenched fist, you can't get nothing new up in there. So we on a whole new wave, man. It's a change that's going on around this country, in Chicago, around the world, man. It's a whole new thing. And that's what people got to understand, bro. Like, man, like Pimp C said, man, get up off that crumb stuff, man. You got to let it go, bro. All of y'all, let it go. If you want a think tank, we're the think tank. We are the thought leaders. I'm going to give you one because I come up with new stuff every day. Every vacant lot
every vacant piece of property should have the owner's name, and they should be responsible for gating and putting the appropriate signage on who owns that property. You know why? Because we find the people in these vacant buildings, people getting snatched up, the neighborhoods look run down. If you own that lot, if you own that property, you're required by ordinance to maintain that property. We should be generating proposals for new ordinances, if not every week. That's why it's always feeling like we going through the same thing, because we're not generating any new policy. You're asking people that have backdoored you to do right by you. We're not dysfunctional, battered, abused people that can't do nothing. Either you're going to fight back or you're going to lead a relationship. That's on us.
Okay.
That's all this is. Come on, man. That's really all this talk is, bro.
I heard you right, Devo. I'm with you on that. All right, DJ Riis trying to cut you off. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Go ahead, caller. What's going on? How you feeling this morning? What's going on? Are we fighting for the Chicago's past or its future?
Good morning, family.
Good morning. Is this
ball
head? Hold it. Before I know we in deep thought, serious conversation. But whoever taught your wife how to make tips and chicken, I just need to thank God and Jesus. I know we not supposed to eat. I know black people gonna be mad at me because I'm not supposed to have no poke on my folk. But I must tell you, baldhead, I don't think I've ever had tips, no sauce, that I done chewed every bit, and everybody's like, good Lord, what kind of rib tips is these? And then got mad when they put the sauce on because the sauce made it taste crazy. Baldhead, tell us just one more time how we could get some of the good catering, because you did your thing this weekend, real quick.
Yeah. From the house, LLC. The Lord has anointed her and us, and that food is cooked with love, period. That's all it is. There's no other way to put it. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be the same every time. Look, Cat Eye Cooks on Instagram. You can follow From the House LLC. And I appreciate it. I love it. I love you guys. Now, did you get your banana pudding?
I did, and I smashed the banana pudding. I forgot. I'm glad you bought two, because I was like, if it was a house banana pudding, Carrie wasn't getting none. I forgot to tell her before I took a scoop out of hers, though. So she'll eat hers today.
All right, but look, let me say this, and I'm moving fast. The problem is, I heard exactly what you said. We got 3 years, and you gone. But you know, my thing is this: if you think about it, what we need to do is we need to get rid of the Willie Lynch mentality. And that's once we squash that, because, I mean, it's been going on. He was a bad man. Still in 2022, where the young against the old against the young, men against the women, and that's what's keeping us divided. If we can squash that, everything will fall right into place. We're working on certain things where we're not going to the bottom of the grass with what's the root of the problem. And that's that Willie Lynch mentality. I love you guys, and Maze, think about 3 years. Give us 7 at least, okay?
Yeah, man, what y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to give me kick it with my granddaughter, man? Y'all be done ran me up off the, y'all be done like, he made $10. Kill him, hang him, run him out the town. Y'all, I'm not trying to be Pope for the rest of them.
You 6 years.
Right, look, man.
I could have seen y'all saying 4, at least 55. You know what I'm saying? That man trying to add 4. Give him a 7.
Hey, I got to go get this. Right, look. I'm going to go be gatekeeping on y'all if y'all don't leave me alone. Yeah. Oh, y'all, check it out. It's Teacher Appreciation Week. Monday, May 2nd through Friday, May 6th. Now, just think. I bet Fritz Kagi don't appreciate the teachers. Because he would put the tax bills out on time so y'all could pay for y'all schools. But you realize, Ruthie, that schools are going to have to take out a loan?
That's crazy.
Think about this, though. Schools are going to have to take out a loan because Fritz Kagi made the bills come out late. And so your school may not have, you may not be able to fund your public safety. You may not be able to fund your school without taking on extra debt because they won't get their tax payouts.
And these interest-free loans?
So no, they're not. You got to pay interest on it. So happy appreciation to the teachers. Wish I appreciate that dude paying his bills on, sending out the bills on time. Do your job. Fritz, you failed. Flop. All right, go to the live line. Call on the Maze Jackson Show. Oh, you want to put my name in it, huh?
I hung up.
So the caller hung up. So that's it for the callers. All right, Ruthie. I just don't know. I'm about to jump out of the woe is me Chicago gang. Like, I was looking at Asia. First of all, Asia, straight up. You know, we don't get no invite to the party bus, birthday party, to the medieval times. It's all good. I could have ate on horseback. It's all good, though. You shady. It's all good. But I was looking at Asia, and I was thinking about how much fun we don't have in Chicago sometimes because we be so busy being mad. No, really. We be so busy talking about what we ain't got. Like, then you go to like Time Out Cafe and you see all the black people out there on the rooftop like, y'all ain't know. What y'all mad about? Like, I be like, I promise you, some days you walk around down in the West Loop, black people be like, you're mad? This is the greatest city in the world. What are you missing? What are you missing? Like, and I feel like someday, like, you know, you go by the boat docks, the black people be out eating. Maybe I shouldn't be mad that it's a Reggie's train wreck on 63rd. And just be like, man, I got somewhere to go on 63rd. I don't know if I'm supposed to be, like, I can't. There's nobody that's, like, I just feel like one of the things that we have in this space is this, and I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but people feel like they're just supposed to get it. Like, you have to work, like, business, you got to work to be a business. It's a struggle. It's not going to be easy. It ain't going to be, you have to work to get clients. You have to work to do all of these different things that I feel like a lot of times we don't want to put that investment in. Now, I'm not saying, no, let me back up. There is a lot to get in the city of Chicago right now. There's a lot of opportunity. I got to stop framing it through the lens of things that I don't have any control over. Right? Like, I got to be honest with you. If I can create more black professional service companies and help them grow, I can't always agree with the same narrative. Right? Like, I can't always say it's not happening, because it is. It's like there's a lot of good stuff that is happening in Chicago, and I feel like sometimes we've been so busy toiling in the fields that we miss the good things that are happening. Now, I also wonder, what do we got to be loyal to Chicago for? Like, what do black people owe Chicago? Like, what is it specifically that you're holding on to in the South Side? What is, or the West Side? What is it that we're protecting? Ability to live there? I'm okay with that. But what is it? What does black Chicago owe? What do we owe Chicago, and what does Chicago owe us? Like, what do they owe us? What are they required to give us?
You know how, like, they released that study that was talking about how, like, the disinvestment in, what was it? Like, all, it was like one of them.
Lawndale?
Yeah, like the disinvestment created blah, 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 blah. I feel like that's kind of what Chicago owes black people.
So I'm with you on that, except for the people that are planning what's going to be the investment for the future ain't putting what that investment ain't going to be for us. It's the investment for the future, not the past.
Yes, I agree. I think part of it is the effects of the past. It's not just like black people are leaving the city of Chicago in like mass population. No,
because Chicago treated us bad.
Exactly. You got to think about the way law enforcement treated black people. Treat black people. You got to think about how they stole policy from the black people. Like,
they stole homes. It's like the same thing they did with Whole Foods.
So that's why we're fighting. That's why we get so tired. That's the effects of all this stuff that we're feeling. So to say, oh, we gotta, it's almost like when you think about progressive and like the new black Chicago or the new Chicago, sometimes it ignores the real implications of the stuff that happened. And it's like, okay, y'all gotta, if y'all gotta move on. Like, and so I think that's part of the fight, because I agree with you, Maze. I want to enjoy Reggie's, but when I look at it, I'll be like, oh, this is some BS. Like, and it's hard for me to want to patronize it because I understand what it means. It's nice to have somewhere to go to kick it on the beach, yes. But at what expense? At what expense does me spending my money here and patronizing this, like, at what's the expense of that?
So the black person buys Reggie's and we don't treat it the same. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's like we can build it, but I often feel like we don't appreciate it until somebody white got it. So I'm just saying, and we'll give the white folks the respect that we won't give.
But Maze, we was beat and conditioned that way.
I'm not debating that.
Like,
I'm not debating it. But
beat and conditioned to be that way.
So I'm with you on being beat and conditioned to be that way. But again, like, if we know that we sit on the tool, who does it? Like, is the city gonna pay us to say put the bar at Reggie's? I'm saying we should have the right to do it. But I would argue with you that there's a component of what we're trying to get to that I think a lot of people ignore, which is the work that it takes after you get at it, right? Like, it's not a one kind of thing. It's like a 360 degree. So to get it, you got to get the financing. I'm not saying that the banks ain't set us up. So let's say we get the city to give us a loan or give us a grant to be able to operate and run it. Mm-hmm. Then you got to be willing to put the employees in there. Then you got to be willing to invest the time. Mm-hmm. Like, then you have to invest in the sales, and you have to invest in, and I feel like oftentimes we go, I feel like there's a tremendous amount of black investment that is happening right now. Like, I've been looking at it, right? Mm-hmm. But it ain't us so much. It's other people, black people, who are not limited by the history in a lot of cases. Or black people who are saying that was the history, but let me go ahead and run this ball right now because I recognize that Obama land and I'm going to build me a arts bank. Because
you have to be quiet. You can't talk about it. And that's part of the challenge as to why people just be quiet and get. It's like,
because the second that you do something, somebody want to tell you why you was a sellout for doing it, right? And so a lot of the black people that are success, they shy away from even being a part of the community because, again, it's like you the gatekeeper, you the da-da-da. Nah, it's like Joe. I had to struggle I feel like there's this.
But those same people that get the spoils, that's off the backs of the people that do say something.
I'm with you on that as a person.
And what needs to happen is the people that do get, because of the people that do say something, it needs to trickle back on down. It needs to all work together.
It shouldn't trickle. It should be an understanding. See, the trickle is waiting on something to fall off. The reality is we all in the space together, right? But I think even in that, the people that reap the benefits oftentimes reap the benefits because there's not necessarily a win or an exit for the people that's doing the fighting. I'm gonna say this. If the love of the fight sometimes is more attractive than the spoils of victory. And I think sometimes we don't know how to win or when to win. And I would just tell you that there are people in the Fighting 30 that I think that if given, not given, but if they chose to focus on their business as compared to the fight, they probably would be able to do a lot more in the fight. I just don't know how we get to a point where we don't battle backward. Like, I don't think we can ignore history. I made my whole career off history, right here. But I'm saying, like, right now, Mike Madigan is not the Speaker of the House. And I recognize that there is 40 years of all type of craziness that has happened. Mm-hmm. And right now, the world is being rebuilt. Are we going to be in the process of, while it's being rebuilt and a whole new power structure comes up, and we don't put our bricks in the mid now, do we find ourselves sitting out again? And while everything is in shambles and rubble, have we put together our nucleus to say, okay, we're going to stamp our approval on the new rebuilding of this? And so that's the part that I'm thinking about. Because I was just thinking about, like, Robin Kelly is like JB. There is no Madigan. There is no, the whole, like, Irish power structure has come down in a matter of, like, a year. Now, everybody is disorganized. Everybody's trying to figure it out. They fighting, they scrambling, etc. And as it reforms, remember, what was that like on Terminator when he turned into the liquid? But if the liquid got together, then it was going to turn back into the Terminator, and he's going to be whooping your ass. Well, we need to figure out, where do we fit in that space? Because when it rebuilds, it has to at least, we cannot let it rebuild and reform in the same way that it was. So when it comes back in and they start saying, who are we putting into the armor, right? It can't be the people who weren't warriors before. Right? So right now, those weak links are still in the joint. But right now, we are outside we building our metallurgy team together, because when they got to put the whole thing together, we're going to be representing that piece. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We're going to take a quick break, and then we come back. We're going to do a little Washington, D.C. update. I heard Kamala is mad that people don't stand up when she come in the room. And it was funny because they tried to make it petty, but I was thinking about how many times black people in a position, am I calling Kamala black? Okay, just for today. And how many times black people don't get the respect of their title. Like I told you, it drives me nuts to watch black people be like, Carrie, like she's in an official position, and y'all out in space, you be like, hey, Carrie. And they be like, she not the president, but y'all be president this and commissioner when it's somebody white, but don't give the black people the same respect. And I know it is like, and we'll be the first ones to tell somebody why they shouldn't get it, but then be mad when they can't do what they need to do in the boardroom. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We're going to talk about that. Plus, Ukraine, Nancy Pelosi said we with them to the end. Straight up? To the end? I'm like, $33.8 billion. There go our reparations again. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
It's official West Suburbs and Chicagoland area. The Naperville Soul Fest is back, featuring a live performance by Avery Sunshine and Carl Thomas on Friday, June 3rd, and Kindred the Family Soul, Selena Johnson, and Riis. On stage Saturday, June 4th at Naper Settlement, located at 523 South Weber Street in downtown Naperville. If you missed the last Naperville Soul Fest, you don't want to miss this one. Get your discounted tickets on Eventbrite or visit NapervilleSoulFest.com. napervillesouthfest.com for more event details. For vendor opportunities with access to over 7,000 attendees, text 630-202-6431. That's 630-202-6431. Spend your first weekend in June at the Naperville Soul Fest with Avery Sunshine Friday, June 3rd and Kindred Family Soul on Saturday, June 4th. Check out napervillesoulfest.com for more information.
Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding. So go on, make my payments high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high. Look, Hey, check it out. First drug lord was President Nixon. Oval Office was the trap house where he was tipping. Got the drugs from Nicaragua and gave us crack. Declared war on blacks. Man, tell him to cut the check and tried to make it seem like a revolution. CIA was the corner boys for distribution. We could tear this country in half for retribution. But I'd rather get some restitution, so tell him to cut the check. John Singleton, man, he already told y'all. He broke it down for you when he made Snowfall. They locked us all up and created whole laws. So send a message like a cold call. Tell them to cut the check. Look, we built this city. We built this city. Back, put this country together and gave him hella aid. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears over 400 years. Been punching the clock, but yeah, we still ain't got paid. Look, they paying the immigrants, they paid the Jews. Executive orders, man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Look, for sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Japanese internment. Come on, was all paid out from the government. We waiting on our turn, we definitely earned it. So make my payment high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high. Not no stimulus checks, just run the bread, make it high. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
WIIFTPM.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blotto. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Ruthie, Riis. Is there any power that black people respect amongst black people? I was just thinking about the code. I was thinking about the fact that there's a big part of us that, in my estimation, wants to prove that we don't know, there's no Negro that we gotta listen to. It's almost like how the white people be like, it ain't no black person that I really gotta respect. I feel like sometimes black people have taken on that mantra, right? Which is like, yeah, I know him, I know you work with him, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. But you know him? The white people be like, wait, that's your man, you know? Or you be like, oh, that's my man's in them. That ain't what he said. Oh, fam, you know you was at my. We ain't even gotta have no beef. Sometimes I feel like if somebody gives you the rules of engagement to do business with them, if you want to do business, that's the way you do it. Like, just like you want to feed your people, people want to feed their people. So if I ask you to do work in my area, you hire people from my area, is that an unreasonable request? Should the people that live in my area walk past people in their joint and not work? And then my thing is, then y'all build a rapport so y'all grow together. It's like, it seems like a lot of times our fight is just to prove. It goes back to the physical thing. Like, every time I got a business situation, it seemed like there's a physical component to it. Like, if you're trying to do black business, if you don't say yes, then the physical comes to it. Like, what about the bid? What about the, right? And I think we've got this intermingling of business in some cases. Not all cases, but in a lot of cases, that be like, yo, fam, you're not going to get every single one. You compete. And then you land one, and then you grow, and then you grow your business. It's like, I don't know. It just becomes difficult. I want to go
rules of engagement. And I think that's what the key word was.
Right.
But I think the problem is it's the lack of consequences within our infrastructure related to going outside of the rules of engagement.
Well, see, but then that's when it goes, because then when it's your turn, you don't really want to honor that. You be like, I'm bigger than that. I'm better than that.
And it's a cycle.
Right. Then it be like, well, I'm not listening to that. So do it. Prove it. It's like election. It's like when Bobby Rush, when you say to Bobby Rush, man, stand down. He be like, beat me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's not like, it ain't the same as when you submit to, you've joined and you said, okay, I'm with it. And so I got to take the consequences as well as to reap the rewards. But there ain't no reward. I mean, and the challenge is when people get the rewards, they don't see it as, they be like, these my rewards. It's us. It's us when it's the fight, but it's mine when you win. I'm telling you,
it be all good, but money and power is when you start inserting into things, it's like the rules go out the door. Like, but I think that just speaks to that the foundation ain't strong.
I feel like I want to be in a space where I'm counting, and you ain't got time to look at mine because you count.
Come on.
But we look at everybody's else as something to eat.
So if you
like, what's your specialty?
So it reminds me of the Lion King, right? Like, not necessarily
Which
the
one?
Lion King, but you got the vultures. Like, the vultures got their role. They gonna come and pick over the carcasses when the lion and stuff take a nap. Like, they gonna just sneak in like that. That's what they do. They vultures. Like, they even might get so clever as to just follow the hyenas around because they know that they gonna gang up on something and then it's gonna be a little bit of meat left over. So you got people that specialize in just flying around, like looking and waiting for their time, like they just vultures. And I think that's why it's important to recognize what your lane is. And when you identify somebody as a vulture, like, you just
accept them as that.
You keep them exactly. You and you operate like that. My thing is, if we could be honest about our lanes and our intentions, we can have more cooperation. Because if you look me in my face, shake my hand, and tell me that we doing one thing, and I find out that really it's something else, like, now we got problems. And I think we keep always ending up having problems because that very thing keeps happening because people ain't identifying their lanes. Stay in your lane and be honest about your intentions. And you can have some too. And I think
right.
That's
And
the
I
thing.
think the other thing is we got this thing where we want money, but we despise it. So when somebody gets it, it's like it's the gotcha moment instead of it's the win. Oh, you got some money. Ah!
No, it's like, no, I think we don't like to see other people eat. It's that crabs in a barrel. It's the urge of the jealousy that comes with it because we be down so bad. Like, it's almost like it's you have to consciously sometimes fight to not be jealous when you see other people win. Like, literally, we be conditioned that way.
It's funny. So you're right. You're right. I think that there's an internal consciousness that you have to fight. Like, personally, even myself, right? When you look around and you be like, and I have learned that I need to celebrate those victories because I got victories every single day, right? That the word, but you social media, the whole thing, you be like, oh, Ruthie, I like, I heard my brother say he been on this for 20 years. Like 20. Like, bro, we went from, for me, 20 years, that means I was 31. Right? Like, at some point, I want to get off the battlefield. I do. I got a granddaughter. Right? I got a wife. I got family. It's things I want to do. It's things I want to enjoy. And I don't think that I should have to die poor on the battlefield to have considered myself effective. And black people will work you till you die and still be like, that nigga could have did more. Yeah, I've been having some, so that's why I'm kind of like, Ruthie, I just want everybody to win. Like, 3/4 of the beef that I think is in our community is because we don't see each other win enough. So you think once somebody win, that's your chance is gone. Like, dang, if they win, then I can't. There's none left for me. And I just want it to be win. Like, Femo, just win. Everybody. Like, be so busy you ain't even got time to think. Don't even, what? I'm counting, Joe. I got to count time. It's count time. It's counting time. You know, like some days, like this weekend, I'm going to tell you, I turned it off. I said, you know what? I could listen to the complaints of the world. I could hear about everything that's not right, or I could enjoy this moment that my son took this step into manhood. This car, this driving, this whole experience of like heart palpitations and all of the different things and all the excitement. And I was like, you know what? That's what I got time for this weekend. That's what I got time for. Because, can I tell you what? On Monday morning, you know what? We gonna be mad. And so I wonder, am I fighting for a past that no longer exists? I'm not saying we can't shape the future, but I do think I gotta have a paradigm shift. Because New Chicago is here. It is. It is. So, I want to move on to this Englewood, the closing of the Englewood Whole Foods, which is, to me, a continuation of this conversation. Ruthie, did you see that the Whole Foods in Englewood announced that they would be closing even as they opened up brand new, shiny, bright ones up north?
Yes.
Remember when they opened this Englewood Whole Foods and it was supposed to be the solution to the food desert, but it was conspicuously timed as Rahm was trying to get reelected, and we knew he had relationships with international CEOs around the world. And Ruthie, I want to find out, did we pay for it? Did we subsidize it? Did we pay Whole Foods to come to Englewood? And then what is it, 4 years, 5 years later? They're pulling up. What responsibility does Whole Foods have to our community? But then, Ruthie, you know what else I thought about? And I hope I don't get in trouble for this because I don't want nobody to be mad at me. I thought about all of those announcements last week from the Muslim Action Network about the fresh food and the revisiting of the corner store and how they were redoing the way that they approached it in Englewood. And remember, they had that giant press conference, and it was like all the imams and everybody in the streets. And I was like, dang. I think you got to stay off Brian Mullen's Facebook page. But I saw it on Brian Mullen's Facebook page, and I was kind of like, dang. What an odd time for, not odd, how coincidental was it that even as Whole Foods was pulling out, that we were seeing this new narrative of our Muslim brothers and sisters pivoting in Englewood and providing healthy food choices. And then I thought about I was thinking about that Whole Foods, and I was thinking it's the perfect underlay for the overplay. Right? Could you imagine right now, and I was hoping that black folks would look at that and say there's an opportunity. Like, I feel like somebody should have went into Whole Foods and said, okay, don't touch nothing. Leave all the fixtures, leave everything here, and we're going to assume this. We're going to occupy this store and take it over as a community cooperative. But then I thought, who got the money to do it? Then you know what I saw, Ruthie? That headline popped in my head. That picture, that photograph of all the imams and how the money had been awarded to Arab communities to provide safe and healthy choices in our community. And I was just thinking, do you think how soon before we announce that there will be a partnership with the Muslim American community and filling that store, and now they're going to be providing healthy choices and still capitalizing off the pain and suffering of Black people and get them great PR for it?
Okay. All right. So let's talk about this, Maze.
We're going to talk about it for 30 seconds.
We got to go too deep.
No, we're going to go. We're going to go, but I got to go to the bathroom again.
So you know that Englewood stuff is, still considered to be a project, right? So, that's how. All right, so it's the University of Chicago and the University of Illinois at Chicago are the evaluation. They're behind this. So if you think about it, that's how they always get us. And I'm pretty sure we can go back to when this Whole Foods got built to see what was the data, who provided the data for the justification to make the policy and the money move, y'all. The same people that's moving this data right now with this same project that's happening in Englewood, that's going to dictate the policy and the funding.
So when we come back, we're going to turn Ruthie loose on y'all for a second.
I'm done finna take a sip of this water.
I know.
Y'all go check out their website. Y'all
Whose website?
The Englewood grocery. I ain't gonna even say the name, just Google it.
Englewood Whole?
I don't even know what it's called. This let me look up the name.
We don't love these hoes. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these
Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show? What's up?
Hi, this is Katie. How are you?
Hey! Okay, hold on. I'm going to make an official nomination right now that we make Katie the new president of the phone club. Riis, can I get a second from you, man?
I second.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Everybody tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. If you vote that Katie should be the new president of the phone club, please signify by saying aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, you are now the new president of the phone club. Katie from Ashburn.
We did it. You're going to be the next president.
How you doing, boss lady?
Thank you. Fine. Thank you. I accept that nomination. Thank you.
All right. You got drafted.
Maze Jackson.
It's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the Black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here.
Today, the Biden administration is releasing what it calls a new strategy to fight domestic terrorism. Following a 100-day review, federal officials are now laying out a new plan hoping to deter, detect, and prosecute domestic terror.
They went to the Capitol waving their flags and looking for smoke. He was out there looking for justice. They was over there looking for votes. Ashley Babbitt was with him and told all the people that nothing could stop us. She climbed through the Capitol window, breached security, and called a shot, bro. The media say she a veteran. They paint the picture to make her look greater, but she disrespected the same country that she served. That makes her a traitor. They was fighting police, resisting arrest. On God, I couldn't believe it. I guess blue lives only tend to really matter when it's convenient. Hey, these are the times we witness in history, all because they didn't get a victory. United States is so contradictory. We get equal rights, that's a mystery. Politicians, they more like magicians. You know they got tricks up their sleeve. We point out the flaws that's up in this country. You know they gon' tell us to leave. Somebody try to help me understand it. Always seems like a double standard. They be out here leaving us empty-handed to certain rights we are not granted. The media's the culprit when it comes to the comparison. Cause when it comes to race, they always changing up the narratives. Terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. We still out here trying to get our reparations, but the government pump faking out here hesitating. I'm out out here trying to keep my peace, so I keep meditating. The media make us look bad, they taint our reputation. Look, it's so sad that COVID causing toe tags. You claim you so patriotic, but you ain't wearing no mask. You out here wildin' with your MAGA flags and showing your ass. You wanna be part of some type of revolution so bad. Look, you talk revolution and constitutional rights, homie. I guess we forgot about back in the days when all of the business was whites only. Yeah. George Floyd got justice. Juneteenth got much respect. They made it a national holiday. Man, it's all good, but cut the check. They're giving out all of these vaccines, putting it in you like caffeine. Was it all in the part of the plan? I bet money like DraftKings. It's land of the free, home of the brave. 1776, we wasn't free till 1865, so we wasn't part of that shit. And that there's terrorism.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore, who is over here turning into a research assistant. But I was going to say, y'all, I just thought it was the unique timing, right? Just think about this. We saw, so I'm going to go back. Do y'all remember the Maze and Monique show? There was a show called the Maze and Monique Show. And one of the very first shows we did was Arab corner stores. And I remember us meeting a gentleman named Rami Nashashibi. And Rami, at the time, it was a really it was a good conversation. And he was talking about being responsible and really changing the perception of the Muslim American community and how they interact. Then I remember I saw him get a Genius grant. And he became like one of the point people in the Arab community that he was it was a weird thing because he was like, he knew that his associates came and took advantage in our community, and he was saying that there was an opportunity to revamp that, right? By building better stores, not giving up the business, but providing healthy choices, food choices, etc. And I thought it was kind of interesting that, again, respectfully, that here was Muslim American being funded to teach us people, I guess, how to treat us better. Right? And I think people look at it as a like doing the right thing, but I was thinking of it as more of a way to reimagine your profit centers. Like it was the conversation that we were having was about, telling these store owners that they could still make the same money but provide better choices and help keep people alive and all of that good stuff. And realistically, what I was seeing, like everybody was hailing it as a way to fix food deserts, etc. But what I was saying was I thought it was a tremendous PR opportunity and a great way to reshape the narrative of how they are looked at in our community. So if I tell you, and if you pay attention to what was happening over the last couple of weeks in Englewood, there was all these press conferences about these new kind of corner stores that were offering healthy choices, and it was teamed up with us because oftentimes we have no choice but to make relationships with the people who have the economics to do it. So we got kind of our own validators validating these people coming to the black community and doing better by us. But it's like, it reminds me of The Godfather when it's like, give it to the blacks, they're animals, right? They don't care. And it's somebody else saying, kind of like a missionary, like, we got to treat them better. If we're going to plan to keep this profit center, then we got to do this in a different way. Does that make sense? And I feel like it's kind of crazy to me. Not crazy. It's when you think about the biggest business owners, like when I saw those people lined up in Englewood, I was thinking, how many black business owners can we put up like that in Englewood? Like I was thinking about during the riots, during the uprisings, and they came and it was like, we the only people that'll put something in your neighborhoods, and y'all tearing us up. I don't know if you remember that press conference. I think Alderman Brookins had it. And so it's kind of like I be looking at people saying, like, you know how they say they're in the process. So I feel like this Whole Foods could have been an opportunity for black people. But what I do see happening very shortly with my Maestradamus hat on is that store is going to be reclaimed by the Arab American community, where they will have it all, they can take it over just the way it is, tell Whole Foods, because what Whole Foods going to do with all stuff? Leave the fixtures, take it over. But to me, it seems like, wouldn't this be a unique time for us to identify like a national black grocer and take the money and say, okay, we're going to subsidize this, just like we subsidize Whole Foods. So find a national black grocer and bring them in and put them in that space? Or will we look at this and will someone else see the opportunity and take it? But the other thing I want y'all to know is I feel like we get these big box stores on contract. Do y'all know what I mean when I say on contract? Do y'all remember when Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote his article on reparations and he talked about how black people used to buy houses on contract where they were paying a mortgage every month and they thought it was theirs? And then they mess up and miss a payment and then they take the whole house from them. That's what happened with Target. That's what's happening with Whole Foods. I would almost say that if you look at any national big box chain that comes into any of these retail locations, they sign a 5-year lease to get whatever they need to do. And then they bounce out. And so while we've been building around this Whole Foods in Englewood as this is an anchor of the community, it was really given to us on contract. You know what I mean? You thought you owned that Whole Foods. You thought that Whole Foods was in town as part of a long-term investment.
Mm-hmm. Well, because that's how they got it built.
Dang, Juan Martinez said it's going to turn into a supermercado. Hey, real talk. Because guess what? Don't get me started talking about about Ozark. Because you'll learn about the cartel. Be done filled that bad boy up. And if they make it a supermercado, it's gone. It's on and popping. Because it will crack. So we like supermercado, or it's going to be owned by the Arab American Association. Once again, our life and death shipped out. Our food being shipped out of our community. Can we bring somebody doesn't it seem like this would be a perfect time for the Englewood alderman or someone to stand up and say, we're going to recruit it, we're going to go on a national hunt? Where's Miss Equity? Where's Miss Invest Southwest? Call the mayor and be like, this is we're going to go find a quality black grocer. There go your equity. You want to press me? Go to the live line. Call you on the Maze Jackson Show. Caller?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing this morning?
All right, who this?
This is Miko.
What's up, Miko?
Hey, Ruthie. Hey, Maze. Listen, you know something, Ruthie, when you said that the University of Illinois and the University of Illinois at Chicago, yep, they are in it, because I remember in Englewood years ago, I just watch trends sometimes, and it's not nothing I do on purpose. They were handing out HCV vouchers for people that lived in certain zip codes. Guess what those zip codes were at?
What kind of vouchers? What kind?
Section 8.
Oh, okay.
And that's something that they don't usually do. You know, you got to wait on the wait list. People be on the wait list for a long time. They were handing out vouchers if you lived in a certain zip code. Guess what that zip code was? Way before not way before, but right before Whole Foods and stuff came. It was in Englewood. Same thing they did for the homeless people when they wanted to clean out the area by University Village, over there by the expressway, over there by Roosevelt. Up in there. You remember there used to be a big homeless population right where Tent City is, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of homeless are still there because they came through and gave them vouchers right before they were building those homes and condominiums there. Did you all know that? Yep. I tell you, it works all hand in hand here, and we don't realize it. But with them closing down the Whole Foods, we didn't have Whole Foods money anyway. So, and
Miko,
you keep mentioning Ozark.
That was the discount. That was the discount Whole Foods, though. Remember, that was the 360 store.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I went in there a couple of times.
Yeah, it was a 360 store. So most of it was like they had like their not second tier, but they had a level down, so it was priced down. And since I ain't gonna lie, since Jeff Bezos, since Amazon got a hold of Whole Foods, it ain't as expensive as it used to be. But I think you're right when you talk about there's a plan here just to move us up out of here and offering them vouchers and all of that to depopulate the place. So what do you think we need to do?
We need to get in these spaces that we think that don't matter, that is plenty economics moving, and help our people that are undereducated that's sitting at these tables. Because the economics is moving in these spaces while they moving us out and using our people to do so.
Yeah.
I'm serious about that.
I think you've been, one of the things that Tamiko has been telling me, thanks, Miko, I got you. And I got you for the phone call. I saw that on Adams and Oakley. I had to drive past that too. I'll talk about it. One of the things that we notice also is that, and Tamiko's been bringing this to my attention, is that a lot of times they underappoint people to the board. So they appoint people to the board who aren't going to ask questions or who aren't going to push or who aren't familiar with the space. So they just happy to go along. Mm. And then you find out or they're able to cut a small deal because they think they don't have perspective on the deal. And then the next thing you know, we done been kicked to the curb. Pay attention to what's going on around some of these housing projects, etc. Riis, we got more people on the line. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show. What's up?
Good morning.
Oh,
Byron here.
Uh-oh. Byron, who you calling to start semester?
Man, I'm about to check out on Thursday. Back to my homeland. But I didn't want to call.
You can't help it,
I want to
man.
go easy.
You don't go easy. Go hard, man. Go hard or go home.
No, I got to go easy. It's called forward thinking, long-term thinking. This is the same thing. Everybody's doing long-term thinking, long-term planning, using us to step on us to get to where they need to get. And guess what? The people who in the room who should be knowing what's going on, they're not telling us. They're not telling us nothing. So we can't really do it because no one's giving us the information that's inside those rooms. We elect people every year. Come and vote for that big old D. You know what D stands for? Tell me what that D stands for.
Dumb. Go ahead. Democrat?
There you go. Well, there you go. I didn't say it. You kind of like you said it a little bit. But we're just as dumb as they think we are. And we fall for it. Back in Tulsa, when we had all these black businesses, there was racism then. But black folks found a way to do it because they concentrated on doing it for self, right? All these long care places, get a black person, start small. Get somebody black to do the work for you. Employ your brothers and sisters. Have faith in them as they will have faith in you. We got to help ourselves. Make that money circulate in our community. Help those kids to go to college by supporting them. Yes, you're going to pay a little extra sometimes, but find somebody else or just bite the bullet and look at the long-term, bigger picture. The bigger picture is we got to help ourselves because we are about to be checked out of this city. I told you a long time ago, 10 or 15 years, they all going to be gone. I have houses on Damon. I mean, no Hispanics was on Damon, 75th and Damon. And all of a sudden, the flag's up. The flag's up. They're waving their flags. We are about to be out of this. 75th and Damon.
Oh, my God.
Because those guys got trucks. Go to Home Depot or Menards. They got trucks, okay? And they're constantly in there buying stuff to remodel stuff. They're buying these little houses cheap and remodeling and living them and then renting them out and whatever it was doing. But they're putting the flags up now. They're living in some of them. They got the flags up. I'm shaking my head all the time. Maze, that's what I do, See, even my heating and cooling man, my appliance guy, they're all black. Sometimes they're a little slow. Maze, I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes they're a little slow. But you know what? I got to say it because it's real. But I have to deal with them. You know, and it caused me pain a little bit sometimes. I said, "Why can't you get me on time? Damn it." You know, but they do good work when they do get work, man. I watch them anyway. So, but I'm just saying, Maze, we got to help each other. And you talk about, you know, but you got to do for yourself, though, Maze. You got to try to help the people when you can in your spare time. But as a Maze Jackson, taking care of the wife and the family, the son, and whoever you got going on in the family, you got to take care of your family first. And then with the spare time, you try to bring along somebody with you. I do it all the time with my tenants. My section, I try to explain things to them. I try to help their little kids with them reading and the math. You know, I'm an engineer, so I did a lot of math in the University of Illinois. You know, so I try to help them.
Go ahead.
There you go. But anyway, what we got to do for self-Maze, and it's just so tough. But we're losing it. We're losing everything because we don't have a long-term vision, and we don't love each other. You got to love each other sometimes.
Man, you doing that Ruthie old huggy kissy stuff. Don't nobody need no love in the world. We just need to get some money.
Yeah, the money is the most important because we are in the United States, and that's what it's based on, money, right?
And money will.
Everything's based on money, man.
And money will buy you some love. Don't let them people tell you. Don't nobody love no poor people.
And some votes. And some votes, too. And some votes, too. It will buy you some votes for black folks. Because it used to be cheese. Mayor Burr used to give them that damn cheese to the black folks, and they go vote for that D.
Man,
vote against their interest. That's all we do. We vote against our interest every darn time. And we got these black representatives that just doing nothing. And nobody sees it. And people keep talking about this damn D. Look, are we better off with Biden now or with Trump? From overall. Are we better off with Biden or with Trump? Forget the orange man crap and the racism and all this nonsense.
Don't be trying to get me in that, Byron.
Okay. Ask Ruthie. Okay, but ask Ruthie. I'm going to ask Ruthie this question then. Ruthie, are you better off with Joe Biden or with Trump right now?
Did y'all see Joe Biden shaking nobody's hand?
I don't know.
Look, Byron trying to
Take a guess, Ruthie. Take a guess. No, take a guess. I'm not going to ask Riis because Riis will know the answer. But I want to see if she has the answer.
Riis, who you got? Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
No. I already know Riis' answer. He don't have to answer that question. I'm not getting him in no trouble this morning. I'm not getting him in no trouble because I want him to be on this radio station one day. I want to ask Ruthie, is she better off today than she was with Donald Trump?
I don't know. He was tripping with COVID. I don't know.
Did you get COVID?
Let me tell you something about COVID, okay? I haven't got no damn shots, okay? I'm doing what I got to do. I've been around people with COVID and they didn't catch it, okay? But you just got to follow the rules. You know, I mean, you got to live life, okay? You cannot be scared of this something that's good. Look at what's going on in China, Ruthie. You see what's going on in China? They got these people locked in their own houses. Do you want to be like that or you want to be free?
Free.
You got two choices. You be free or you be under control of the government. Which one you choose, Ruthie?
Free.
There you go. Then be free, act free, and keep freedom alive and well.
Hey, thank you, Byron. That's the vice president of the phone club. Byron came to snap on y'all this morning. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We got more people on the line. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What you got for me today? Caller?
Good morning, Maze. Good morning, Maze.
Good morning. Who there?
This is Hope.
Hope? Uh-oh. Come on, Hope. I'm ready for you to go ahead because you know you be dropping bombs. Go ahead, Hope.
Okay. Do you think that the Whole Foods Corporation would have given a black businessman the opportunity to be a franchisee of that Whole Foods there in Englewood? That's a yes or no question.
No.
And you know why? Because in the business plan that the bank would have required and the corporation, the black businessmen would have been required to provide a market study that supports the economics of that operation. There is none. That, as your callers have suggested, the homes, the incomes would not have supported a Whole Foods in Englewood. That's crazy. That's Freakonomics. So there were other reasons for them putting that there. It's simply to say that, hey, in a black community, businesses fail because black people are not of the wherewithal to make it a go. That's my
So do you think so? Hope, tell me why you think they put it there as an opportunity to take us down. Why? Or because I felt like now I'm feeling like it was a Rahm campaign stunt as he was preparing himself to get ready to run again until he decided he wasn't, and he was going to be able to point to it.
No, it's no stunt. It's a valuable long-term asset. Being that close to Hyde Park, that close to the University of Chicago, that close to the expressways, that close to the train system, there are opportunities for it to be something that I don't think anyone has envisioned other than those researchers of U of I and University of Chicago. Maybe it will support the expansion of the medical district. But the fact is, it is a long-term asset, as anything in Chicago is. Being close to this lake with that fresh body of water, hey, everything is a go in this city except for us.
That's what I love when you call though. Hope.
We know it.
We're gonna have to start sending you. You're gonna have to have you a little special, a little. We got to come up with a opportunity. What was it that we did before where people can kind of do breakdowns and give them the opportunity? Because Hope always comes through with some bangers. Hope, we appreciate you, man, and you be killing it in the comments too, man. You got me going ready to go look at this website in a minute after this show too. Hey y'all, thank you, Hope, for calling. Riis, Ruthie, why you be having that look of consternation on your face sometimes? Why are you concerned?
Because none of these projects, as they call them, they don't move without the backing of the major research institutions. And so I keep on seeing this connection. So it makes me think that we need more black people in research. That's really what it is. Because if you peep game, these research decisions drive and they back up these policies that are being created.
So I think Hope nailed something, which is a long-term asset. I think Mr. Martinez nailed it when it was El Supermercado. So all of if they did a study on this Whole Foods or this food desert, and we know that they plan for 20 or 30 years in advance, did they plan this Whole Foods to be able to be taken over by El Supermercado? Because they knew that after 5 years that Englewood would be depopulated and the people that were clamoring for it would be gone, and then the new people that came would support it, right? Remember, Englewood is where it's the new little village where all the Latinos are buying houses for cheap, remodeling them, because you got crazy, wild housing stock in Englewood. Then they go in and take a 10-bedroom mansion, flip it, and now they have a place to live. And now they're not living in a food desert. It's like they mapped their food desert out. And then I got to just back you up, because I don't think it's coincidental that if you're talking about studies, I really would love to see who was commissioned with the study with the Muslim American network.
I just told
who
was
University of Chicago.
The University of Chicago, University of Illinois at Chicago.
They got a plan. So think about this. And think about the fact that University of Chicago and University of Illinois are teaming up, right? They're teaming up in the 78. They're teaming up to be economic institutions.
This grocery store it's about housing, transit, like it's not just about this grocery store, like it's a whole plan. I would encourage y'all to go to these websites and just look at these project overviews and developments.
So when they built the Whole Foods, they didn't really build it for us. They said by 5-7 years y'all be depopulated.
So that whole Whole Foods things is well documented. I just take the website. Just Google EnglewoodSquare.com. And they literally, like, it show you who all the people was. It tell you the data and the studies and all the TIF money and who the development company, how they did it with the major research institutions. Like, they were super proud of this. Like, they documented it. It's pictures that exist. And so now to look back on it, I'm seeing some of these same names, Chicago Neighborhood Initiatives. Like, I'm seeing some of these same names in these same major research institutions. And here we are, like, and all this money, like, people, they done took these bags and walked off into the sunset. Literally, they got the pictures of the people breaking the ground. Like, you can see who doing the construction. Like, this is wild.
You see why I be like, man, like, Ruthie, New Chicago is here. Like, New Chicago is actually here. And am I still fighting for the past when the future is here? Like, I think about old Chicago, and I know when I say old Chicago, y'all be like, not the one in Bolingbrook, but the one that we used to know. We're living in New Chicago. Are we going to, I guess my question is, are we going to participate? We going to let them tell us how it is, or we still going to be talking about how it used to be? It's the Maze Jackson Show. You know, I be talking about people every time you see, man, remember we used to. We need to start saying what we gonna and what we got. I was a weird space this Monday, but I'm glad to have had this conversation. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show. For my girl, Ruthie Moore, for my man, DJ Riis, I am the host where every single day we ask the question. Oh, my bad. Ruthie, you got anything else you want to say? Riis, you got anything y'all want to say before we get up out here?
Research data. We got to learn how to manipulate them to our benefit.
So for Maze, Riis, and Ruthie, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happening in town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a rare